What is up, everybody? It is me, Raheem, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different from like the whole entire channel in general. Like, we're just going to be doing something like way different from like other channels. Well, not too different, but you know what I'm saying. Um, Basically, my name is Raheem. Nice to meet you. You all might know me as Sergeant Goofball, or well, as my channel name. But today we're going to be doing a what if Deku was the Hulk, big green and mean, like that type of Hulk. So I'm just gonna you might hear like a lot of stuttering because I'm not really good with my words. So please do not get irritated with me because I do stutter a lot when I'm nervous or when I'm sweating. And right now, I'm sweating a lot because my room is very hot. So if you guys hear me stutter a lot, don't get mad, please. And basically, let's get into this video. Now we're going to be starting off at the doctor's where Deku is basically just considered corkless at this point. But he actually is not cork. He actually is not corkless, but the doctor just can't pick up any signs of a cork. But how are we gonna do this? We're gonna make it so Midoriya's dad was like a scientist working with the gamma ray company, and high concentrated amount of gamma ray got um Madeku's dad's body and system. And when Deku was born, he had got this even more than his father did. So like his genes like made it grow within Madeku's body, basically. And as this is the point where they just don't pick up any signs because he's technically quirkless, it's just not officially technically to be considered a quirk. Now we start off with Deku is basically 5 years old, and everybody just knows he's quirkless and really doesn't have a quirk. He gets bullied a lot for this, and basically everybody just thinks he's like trash of the school. Everybody just calls him Deku at this point. Bakugo bullies him like basically about the same amount as in the original OC, but like just a tad bit harsher. And to just so I can push like Deku to like get all big, green, and mean, you know what I'm talking about. And it's at this point. So we start off and we're gonna skip to like 5 years, like 7 years into the future, where no, not seven, but 4 years into the future, where Deku is probably 8 at this point. Um, four means he's probably 9 at this point. So one day Deku's playing with his friend at the park until Bakugo and his goons basically shows up and starts to bully him and his friends, and then um just to piss Deku off, he basically just since his goons after his friend were basically beating his friend half to death. Well, not half to death, but he was bleeding a lot. Like this this was like harsh. Deku was scared and also very mad and sad. And then that's when Kanchan basically broke his friend's hand by stepping on it like really hard. Now this pissed Deku off, like this enraged Deku. As they turn to see Deku's reaction, they see him curled up in a ball, getting bigger and greener. Like they just see him getting greener, and then they're just like, "What is it? Is he manifesting a quirk?" And like all of them turns to see the surprise. Deku is getting bigger and greener. Now, since Deku is technically still a child, he won't be like as big as a Hulk, but he will be. He will look like an adult man, and will just get very mad. Now I won't make it so that way he don't kill Bakugo, but he will like beat Bakugo to like the point where he can't move no more and he's knocked out unconscious, and he will do this to his goons. Now now his friend sees this and he's just terrified of Deku. Like he's just terrified of Deku. Now once Deku go back to normal, and then he goes unconscious, and then his friend just runs up out of. He's like blitzes up out of there. Now, Deku wakes up like 10 minutes after to see Bakugo and his goons just on the floor, knocked out. He wonders what happens and why is his clothes all ripped. And then then the next day he go to school just to see everybody just terrified of him. And then he asked why is everybody looking at him like that? And then Bakugo basically runs up to him and said, using his expulsion quirk on him, saying, "You villain." Everybody just calls him a villain because of his quirk. And he's just like, "What? A quirk? What are you talking about?" And then Bakugo just basically goes on to explain what happened yesterday. And then this was confusing to Deku because he never really shown us any signs of a quirk. And this, he's just like, "What are you all talking about? I don't have a quirk." And then Bakugo goes on to say, "Stop lying, you villain. We all know you have a quirk. We saw you use it yesterday." Deku runs out of the classroom confused, not crying so much. He's just confused, as in, I have a quirk, and why are they calling me a villain because of his quirk? And then that's when he basically like tries to use his quirk, but he just cannot do it. Like, just period. He just cannot do it. And then that's when he remembered before he blacked out, he was getting mad and angry at Bakugo, basically just feeling his rage to like the point where he was about to try to fight back, but then that's when he blacked out. So then that's when he tries to get mad and like stuff, try things to try to make him mad, but it doesn't work as he was purposely trying to make himself mad. So then that's when Deku ends up trying to learn how to research on how to basically calm himself down, like to control his anger and his rage, and basically, so then that's when he finds out about meditating. Meditating actually helps Deku basically control and harness his rage to like the point where he can control it. Now, Deku is 12 in this, and he's been meditating for about. So let's see, he was 9. He's been meditating for about about 2-3 years. He was meditating about 2 or 3 years to the point where he can actually have some control over his form, but he can't go like big, bulky green. Like he can basically go like half form, where his strength and speed increases, but mainly his speed because his bulky form actually kind of slows him down because of all the muscle that's on him. So basically, right now, he's basically like he can basically use his quirk up to some. He can basically go Hulk up to like a point where his speed's increased and not his. Hold up. I'm pausing this. Sorry, everybody. It was just a call from my girlfriend. Now, let's just ignore that and get back to the story. Basically, he can't like go full Hulkish form because he has some control over his anger, but not fully. He still has to he still has to like practice like get mad, but like learn how to calm himself down and control it. Now, at this point, everybody just like thinks that was like a one-time thing and just basically sees Deku as harmless again. So then, but Bakugo knows better, and he knows just to stay away from Deku completely. Basically, in this one, he just like doesn't really like want to talk to Deku at all because fearing that he might what might happen to him again, and basically he just like tries to. But some kids will eventually bully Deku, but then Deku would try not to like go his full form. Like he would just like basically would just like not pay them no mind, learning how to calm himself down throughout his meditation. So basically they try to anger Deku, but Deku just has like complete control over his anger. Like the way he uses his quirk is he manifests like everything that makes him angry in the world and just things that he just don't want to see ever, and basically takes control over the Hulk form, not letting the big guy take control over him. Basically like Professor Hulk, if you guys know what I'm talking about. So in this kind of event, we skip to basically the sludge villain attack. Like Deku basically just trying to get home faster, tries to go down to an alley, but then he just is attacked by this random sludge villain. Now Deku, he's thinking about trying to go into his form, but before he could even try it, the sludge villain quickly wraps around him and tries to suffocate Deku. Now Deku is just trying to get mad, like he is getting mad, and then that's when Deku starts to get bigger and greener. And then basically that's when All Might appears, which shocks Deku. but he doesn't know All Might. He just hears somebody screaming, "I am here." But actually, he does know because he can tell by his voice, which actually calms Deku down a little bit, but not to the point where he's like back to normal. Before All Might can even do anything, Deku rips the sludge villain off of him, and punches him against the wall, making the sludge villain just splatter everywhere. Now All Might would see this shocked in amazement how strong Deku is because the shockwave emitted by Deku punch actually was like half of his full power. Actually, not even half, like 25% of All Might's full power. And All Might is just amazed by what this kid can do. Well, he don't see him as a kid. He thinks he's a grown man because he's like Deku's like halfway into like his Hulk form. He's like bigger and taller. All Might sees him as a grown man, but then when he see Deku like go back into his normal form, he's just amazed by like a child did basically a teenager did this. Basically, he's just shocked by this, and then that's when All Might starts thinking, maybe, just maybe, if maybe he could be my successor. But you guys actually might, I might give him one for all, but I'm not so sure if I will. So don't get your hopes up. Now, it's at this point, Deku notices All Might. Well, he been noticed All Might, but he just like sees to make sure he wasn't like basically dreaming about it, and he just starts fanboying out, and then that's when he goes up to ask all types of questions, and basically asks for an autograph, and yes, and then that's when Deku and All Might. Wait, but he asked for an autograph after Deku and All Might finished picking up the sludge villains, basically all of the sludge villain, and puts them in a bottle. Now, doing this, then after this, All Might tries to jump away, but then Deku grabs onto him. Actually, no, he don't even grab onto him. That's when All Might jumps away, and then Deku gives a chase by going halfway into his green form and just like chasing him and jumping on the building. The building, trying to get to All Might's attention. All Might sees this and stops on the building as because he's running out of time. And then they both stop on the building, and then Deku basically just asked All Might, "Do you think I can be a hero with the type of quirk I have? It's dangerous, and if I lose my temper too much, I could actually just end up losing control." And then this catches All Might's attention. What exactly is your quirk, kid? And then that's when Deku goes to explain his quirk, how it basically manifests his anger and basically gets him really mad, basically turning him into a giant green monster. Oh, and then that's when All Might says, "Well, kid, through a lot of meditation and training, you could learn to use your quirk. Heck, might even become stronger than me one day." As he goes to explain, the shockwave that Deku emitted when he punched the sludge villain was actually kind of 25% of his power if he was to go like 20% of All Might's power that shockwave emitted. And then Deku is just starts getting happy at All Might says he could become the number one hero. All he needs is a bit of training, and then that's when All Might goes into Small Might poofing, and then that's when Deku's just scared and said, Where'd All Might go? Who are you? Are you an imposter? You're not the real All Might." And then that's when All Might will go and explain about his injuries and all about the how the villain attacked and basically almost nearly killed him, which led him with that big giant hole in his chest. Well, on the side of his chest. Deku, Deku, Deku's surprised by this, thinking somebody almost killing All Might. He just can't see that happening. So, with that being said, they say their goodbyes. Deku walks home in an ray of sunshine, thinking, "Yay!" And then that's when he's walking home, he hears a giant boom, going to go check it out to see if it's another villain attack. When he gets there, only to see the sludge villain wrapped around his friend Bakugo. Now, Deku gets very angry at this, but he learns to control his anger, like turning big and green. Everybody sees this as Deku goes to basically rip Bakugo out, and punches the sludge villain black, splattering him against the wall. Now, with that being said, all the heroes are just shocked and like impressed, and also basically angry, but not angry. Like, and then they goes to scold Deku for using his quirk out in public without a license. But they also praise him for his bravery, and then the basically for his bravery and what he did for his friend. Bakugo then goes out to say, "We're not friends, and I didn't need your help, Deku." Running, basically stomping off angrily. And then one of the heroes says, "Man, that kid's just ungrateful." All Might sees this and is very impressed. Goes up to young Midoriya and says, "Midoriya, can we talk in private?" And then that's when Midoriya goes with All Might to speak in private now. All Might goes to explain everything about his quirk and how it works and how he gets passed it down to others. And with that being said, All Might asks if he wants to be the successor to One for All. All Might, Deku's hesitating to say yes, but then that's when he just says, "I won't have to rely on my green form that much. I only will have to rely on it unless it's necessary." And then that's when Deku accepts. "Yep, I'm going to give him One for All. Don't get mad at me. I know what you're thinking. He's going to be too OP if I give him One for All, but he's just going to get it, as he basically just proved to All Might that he deserves it." Now, he gets One for All, and basically All Might then goes on to explain the training that he will have to do before he can use it, as his green form may be impressive, kid, but without that form, you're kind of scrawny. And then basically they go head over to the beach, and then for 10 months they just do very intense training, more intense than in the original OC, but just like very more intense training, making Deku basically pick up like cars, basically making Deku like pick up cars and refrigerators all up from the beach, and to just put it in one pile, and then basically get rid of all the trash on the beach. Now this 10 months has passed. Oops, sorry for that. This 10 months has passed, and Deku's getting up early in the morning just to basically get ready for UA exam. He's all nervous and he's having a mental breakdown, as he's thinking, what if I don't make it in? What if I fail? What if I let down? So All Might, basically with a mix of emotions. He's happy, like he's like scared and nervous all at the same time, but he just shakes it off and says, "No, I got this. I'll prove to All Might that he chose the right successor." And then he goes to school. Goes to UA, and basically, like, you know, basically just like get ready. Now, as he was walking in, he nervously tripped over his foot, thinking he's about to fall and fall flat on his face. Uchako, whatever her name is, the ungravity girl. She basically taps Deku, basically making him levitate. Deku goes on to thank her, asking her for her name, and him telling her his name. Now they get well acquainted, and they walk to UA together as they talk more about their quirks. I probably might ship them too, but I might not, as I kind of was hoping to having somebody in mind. Hold up, I need to do something. My bad, everybody. I had to do something fast, but like I said before, I actually have somebody in mind for Deku, but I might just end up shipping him and Uraku Ochako together.
But yeah, basically he goes to the UA exam. Like they get ready, and Ida goes to Deku and Uchaku to basically tell them to stop talking to each other and get ready as they are distracting one another. And basically, nervously, Deku says, "Okay, you don't gotta be so a stick in the mud." Hold up, everybody. My girlfriend calling me again. My girlfriend just keeps on calling me and playing paints with me. I'm sorry for that quick pause. I had to pause the video real fast. Like I was saying before, Deku nervously backs off, and then him and Uchaku get ready. Now, Deku basically, like, since he don't know how to work one for all properly, he basically goes like midway to his Hulk form, basically increasing his speed, blitzing out. Basically, he's not as fast as Ida. He's just a little bit slower. He's just a little bit slower than Ida, but not too much. And he just basically goes destroying robots, jumping from building to building, destroying robots. And I say he rack up about 64 points, and then that's when uh this, everybody just hit the ground shaking as they see the 0 pointer. Now everybody starts to run, but Midori's about to do the same before he hears a scream and sees his friend Uchako under the 0 pointer. Then that's when Deku gets a little bit angry and then figures he has to do something um before like before like the robot can actually kill her. Then that's when Deku transforms into his full Hulk form, using the one for all powers and basically infusing it into his right arm, basically creating an immense um punch that basically just obliterates the robot. Like the robot just doesn't exist no more. Like the top half of the robot is gone completely. Teachers and students are just shocked and amazement as he just destroyed the the 0 pointer. Now All Might looks at Deku with proud eyes as saying, I knew I chose the right person as my successor." And then he basically Deku goes back down to his normal size, just falling. But at this point, it doesn't really do much to him as before he could hit the ground, he transformed into like his half form, hitting the ground. And then that's when he transformed back into his normal form, picking up Oshako, getting the rocks up off of her, and picking her up, and basically just like Princess carrying her to the recovery girl, or to the nurse's office. Now, during this, Ochaka is just blushing as she's starting to develop a little bit of feelings for Deku. She just starts to blush. Now, Deku goes home thinking he did good. Now, basically, he goes back home. Basically, back home, waiting for a week to get the interest letter, and then that's when Deku mom basically just runs upstairs saying, "Deku, you got it, you got it, you got it in." As she starts to cry and hug Deku tightly, saying, "I'm so proud of you, my baby boy." Now Deku cries back and hugs his mom too, as he's happy and excited he got in, thinking he wasn't gonna get in when the outcome was obvious. In fact, I say 60 plus 60 is somewhat of 112. Somewhat of 100. Somewhat of 100. I'm just gonna give him 115 points as to the because before he saved Uchaku, he had like 100. I'm at 62 points, and when he saved her, he got like a quick 63 points. Now he has 115 points, saying that he has the highest score on the entire entrance exam. And Deku just starts to basically starts to cry a little bit, thinking he wasn't finna get in at all, thinking he was just gonna be some type of failure. And then that's when a holograph of All Might basically says, I knew I chose you as my successor for a reason. I saw a lot of potential in you, and I was correct. Now I have no regrets for my decision, knowing I left on my mantle to the right person. Deku is like has like this proud, confident look on his face as he basically just got praised by his favorite hero and his mentor. Now, with that being said, guys, we're gonna have to leave this off here, and I'm finna to actually make another what if, stating what if Deku was, well, you're gonna have to wait for that. Well, with that being said, everybody, I wish to see you all goodbye and basically see you later into the next video.